Hey fans, and welcome back to Guys Time with the Bryes. Zach Bryes is here. I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday so far. Shout out to my mom. It's her 60th birthday today. So happy birthday, Mom. I love you so much. I hope you have a great day. So shout out to my mom. She's the best mom in the world. 60, the big 6-0 today to my amazing mother. So you have that going on today. But yeah, we got to start off with UFC 313 because this card was crazy. The main event, not the greatest, to be honest with you. I watched the main event, and I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't like it. It was not what I expected. Alex Pereira did not look like himself. Magomed Ankalaev looked absolutely, he looked good. I don't think he dominated and really deserved to win the UFC light heavyweight championship. My opinion, when you go for 11 takedowns and they all get stuffed and you're hugging the guy for most of the round, the fourth and fifth rounds, I'm sure all of you guys witnessed it. That's not deserving of winning the UFC light heavyweight championship. But we'll talk more about that. But the rest of the card, UFC 313, this past Saturday night, the main card, not bad. For the most part, I'd probably give it a B grade. I was pushing towards B minus, but there was a couple of the fights on the main card that were great. I mean, the main card started off with Mauricio Duffy going up against King Green, and Mauricio Duffy with a spinning wheel kick knockout, only the 16th spinning wheel kick knockout in UFC history. And it was absolutely phenomenal. What a way to start off the main card, right? So Mauricio Duffy, 12-1-0 record in his mixed martial arts career, 3-0 in the UFC. King Green, he's been around for a long time. He's 38 years old. He's lost his last two fights. Obviously got knocked out this past Saturday night against Mauricio Duffy, and then he got submitted in his other fight. But yeah, 38 years old. He's a journeyman. He's been around for a long time. I think it's time to hang it up for King Green. He just doesn't look good anymore. But Mauricio Duffy, that spinning wheel kick knockout, that was unbelievable. Like I said, what a great way to start off the main card for UFC 313 this past Saturday night. It was like I said earlier, it was the 16th spinning wheel kick knockout in UFC history. So making history. Great way to start off the main card. Mauricio Duffy, undefeated in the UFC. The lightweight division only gets better, right? So you had that going on. And then the second fight, you had Amanda Lemos. This is the strawweight division, the women's strawweight division. Defeated Asmin Lucindo by unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. For Amanda Lemos, so that was a good fight as well. And then the third fight on the main card, you had Ignacio Bahamondes defeating Jalen Turner, and I saw on his Instagram page that he's retiring Jalen Turner. So, good for him, man. Like I said, this sport is brutal. Like any combat sports fan knows that UFC, mixed martial arts, even boxing, it's a brutal sport. So he's thinking about his health. He's thinking about the long-term effects of this sport and what it can do to you. So good for him. Congratulations. He deserves it. But unfortunately, he lost by submission, triangle choke, 2 minutes and 29 seconds in the first round. A lot of these fights for the main card were relatively quick. I mean, the main event started right around midnight. Usually for these pay-per-views, for UFC pay-per-views, the main event don't start till 1 o'clock in the morning. Obviously Midwest time. On the West Coast, they're 10 hours or 3 hours, 3 hours behind. So it's 10 o'clock over there. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here in Michigan. But yeah, these fights were relatively quick for a main card. And yeah, so another first round finish for the UFC, for UFC 313. But yeah, Ignacio Bahamondes defeating Jalen Turner, another lightweight matchup there. And then the co-main event, this was the one I was talking about. This was the one that got a lot of, attention because Justin Gaethje was supposed to go up against Dan Hooker, two ferocious lightweights, two savages. That fight would have been absolutely amazing. It would have been a banger for sure. But then obviously Dan Hooker had a hand injury. He broke his hand during training camp. So then Rafael Fiziev, late substitution, comes in, 2 weeks notice. So he didn't have a whole camp like Justin Gaethje did, and it showed. In the second round, the third round, Fiziev was getting very tired, and Justin Gaethje, man, he was just hitting him with some good shots. A couple of good uppercuts, one uppercut that took down Rafael Fiziev. That was great to see. And then Justin Gaethje winning by unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28, all for the highlight. Justin Gaethje, he's back in the win column, obviously recovering from that UFC 300 knockout loss to Max Holloway back in April, almost a year ago. So it's nice to see Justin Gaethje back in the win column. But then Rafael Fiziev, flip side of that coin, that's his third straight loss. So he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost twice to Gaethje in that time, and then he suffered a TKO loss to Mateusz Gamrot, another great lightweight. Mateusz Gamrot, another great lightweight. Rafael Fiziev, what happens here? 3-fight losing streak, and one of the most powerful, one of the most dynamic, one of the most popular, one of the toughest divisions in the UFC. Where you go from here if you're Rafael Fiziev? Hopefully we'll see him again soon, but I don't know. You lose to Gaethje twice, you lose to Mateusz Gamrot. These are not slouches, man. These are savages, and the toughest, in my opinion, the toughest division in the UFC, the lightweight division, 155 pounds. It's going to be tough for Rafael Fiziev to bounce back from that. So you have that going on. And then Justin Gaethje, like I said, back in the win column. He beats Rafael Fiziev again, like I mentioned last week's episode of Guys Time with the Prize. It was a rematch from UFC 286, which was March 2 years ago. So almost 2 years to the day last time these guys fought. So where does Justin Gaethje go? Does he fight Dan Hooker? Does he do a trilogy fight with Dustin Poirier? A lot of options out there. Does he fight for the UFC lightweight title against Islam Makhachev? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Justin Gaethje, nice to see him back in the win column. He looked absolutely phenomenal. So that was the co-main event. Only 3 rounds for that fight, but it was great. So now we got to talk about the main event for UFC 313. You had Alex Pereira, the former UFC light heavyweight champion, the champion going into this fight, defending his title for the 4th time in 11 months, guys, against Magomed Ankalaev, number 1 ranked UFC light heavyweight in the division. Ankalaev wins by unanimous decision. He's the new UFC light heavyweight champ. Lots of controversy, one of the judges, Sal D'Amato, he's been a judge for a really long time. He's usually a judge at these big UFC pay-per-views. He scored this fight 49-46. Now, wait a minute. How in the hell do you score 49-46? He gave 4 out of the 5 rounds to Ankalaev. And let's be honest, Ankalaev, he threw more of the significant strikes, right? So we go through the significant strikes here. Ankalaev landed 94 out of the 180 that he threw. And then Pereira landed only 76 out of the total 137 that he threw. So obviously the significant strikes were there. But then you go into the 4th and the 5th round. These are the championship rounds. These are the rounds, if you're the contender, you have to show the judges, hey, I'm beating the crap out of this guy. I deserve to be champion. For the 4th and 5th rounds, he was hugging Alex Pereira. And then he tried for 11 takedowns and got stuffed every single time by Alex Pereira. So for Ankalaev to win this fight by unanimous decision, to become the new UFC light heavyweight champion, not impressive at all. My opinion, it's not impressive. You are in a championship fight. You're the main event. You have to show the world, not just the judges, but to everyone else, that you deserve to be the champion. When you're hugging the guy, most of the fight, when you're trying going for takedowns and you get stuffed every single time, it's not an impressive victory. It was bad. Like I said, I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the main event. It was not the greatest. So yeah, Sal D'Amato, I don't know what fight you were watching, dude, but having Ankalaev win 4 out of the 5 rounds, you're smoking some crazy stuff there, man, because he did not win 4 out of the 5 rounds. I'll tell you that much right now. There's no way. And then, like I said, the 11 takedown attempts from Ankalaev, all stuff by Alex Pereira. And then significant strikes, we already went through that. But I want to talk about Alex Pereira because he did not look like himself. You guys, the combat sports fans out there, you know as much as I do. We know Alex Pereira. I mean, he's been a savage ever since he's come to the UFC. And he's only been in the UFC for like 3 to 4 years. It's been a very short time, and he's already been champion a couple times. He's defeated some of the best in the business. You know, Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland. You know, he's beaten all those guys. You know, he just got done beating Khalil Roundtree Jr. last August for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. He's beaten Yuri Prochazka a couple times, but he did not look like himself. He looked afraid of Ankalaev. Aliyev. I don't know if it's because Ankalaev Aliyev was southpaw for most of the fight, or, you know, just because he's Russian. The Dagestans with their grappling, their wrestling, and, you know, Alex Pereira wanted no business, and he wanted no part of that fighting style. He just did not look like himself, man. He was backing away. You know, he wasn't pushing the pace like he usually is. He wasn't coming in with hard shots. He was backing up and allowing Ankalaev to come after him. It was very strange. All UFC fans out there, I think you can agree with me. This was not Alex Pereira's shining moment. It was not his greatest performance. And since he lost now, you know, that momentum about him possibly fighting Jon Jones, you know, it kind of disappears now, because who wants to watch that fight after Alex Pereira's performance against Magomed Ankalaev, who's the new UFC light heavyweight champion, this past Saturday night? I mean, it was not a great performance by Pereira at all. I mean, like I said, he just looked nervous. He didn't look like himself. I don't know if he was battling an injury or trying a different game plan, you know, with his coaches and his team, but he did not look like himself. He's not the Alex Pereira we're used to seeing. You know, Poatan, that guy's a savage. What we saw Saturday night, that was a different dude. That was definitely not Alex Pereira. And it's very unfortunate, because he was a great fighter, and he just didn't perform when it mattered most. You're the champion. You're in the main event. You gotta show that you are the champion, that you deserve that title. But he lost. And now you got Magomed Ankalaev, the new UFC light heavyweight champion. So congrats to him, but, you know, at the same time, like I mentioned before, it wasn't impressive. You know, when you're on the main card, you know, championship fight, thousands in attendance, millions watching at home, you got to put on a performance of a lifetime. You have to show the world that you deserve to be champion. Whether you're Alex Pereira, the defending champion, or you're the challenger, Magomed Ankalaev, you have to show up, man. When you hug the guy for, you know, in the fourth and fifth rounds, those are the championship rounds. You have to, you know, do significant damage to Alex Pereira. He didn't do that. So, wasn't impressed with the main event. You know, it's unfortunate, because the UFC light heavyweight division, it's one of those divisions where there's, you know, maybe like 3, 4, maybe even 5 guys who are savages. All the rest are kind of just there, right? Compared to the lightweight division, where anyone can be champion in that division. But, you know, now, like I said, do we see a Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira down the line? After this performance by Pereira, I don't see it. And that's very unfortunate. So you have that going on. UFC 313 this past Saturday night, live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Overall, B grade for the event. Like I said, Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev, probably the best fight of the main card. But yeah, Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, thumbs down, man. It was not good. I didn't like it. So UFC 313, hopefully some of those fighters bounce back. Hopefully Alex Pereira can come back, and maybe we'll see a possible rematch. Maybe it'll be better than the first fight, because this fight wasn't the greatest, man. I was disappointed as a fan. So you have that going on. Magomed Ankalaev, ladies and gentlemen, he is the new UFC light heavyweight champion. So congrats to him. So that's UFC news. That's UFC 313. We'll have a bunch of events going on from that. But now we got to hop over to March Madness. So it's that time of year again. College basketball, college men's basketball, and women's basketball. But yeah, March Madness right around the corner. You know, you got the championship tournaments this week for the conferences, the ACC championships, the Big East, Big Ten, SEC, all the tournaments. They started this week, Monday. So you have that going on. But Selection Sunday, you know, when they start doing the brackets, is this Sunday, 6 p.m. on CBS. So check that one out. And then Duke took the top spot. They're ranked number 1 in the country. Auburn been number 1 in the country for most of the season. They're down to number 3 now. They lost 2 in a row against Alabama. That thriller this past Saturday, 93-91 in overtime, rivalry game, and they lost that one. And then they lost Texas to Texas A&M 83-72 last Tuesday. So if you're Auburn, I mean, that's not a good way to end the season. I mean, I get you got the tournament this week. Maybe you can bounce back, but you know, you got, when you're the number 1 team in the country, or you were at the time, you got to finish off strong. They didn't. And now it's allowed Duke to get the number 1 ranking going into these tournaments, going into March Madness. So, yeah, crazy stuff there. But, yeah, Duke, number 1. I mean, what surprises you about that, right? Duke is the basketball school. They've been a basketball school even before I was even born. So, yeah, that's great to see them, number 1. But, yeah, Selection Sunday, this Sunday, 6 p.m. on CBS. And then the first 4, next week, March 18th and the 19th. And then the first round of March Madness starts March 20th through the 21st. So next week. So check that one out. Like I said, this is the best time for college basketball. The Bryce is definitely going to watch this. I'm probably not going to fill out the bracket and play for money. I might just fill one out to see how I do. But, you know, usually I get into this March Madness pool with my cousins and our family and our friends. And there was a couple years where I almost won it, but then there's other times where my bracket was done after the first round. You know, brackets were broken, as they say. Oh, it was all said and done and over with. But I'm going to watch this as just, you know, enjoying March Madness, because anything can happen. A 16 seed can beat a number 1 seed. I've seen it happen in the first round. It's crazy. So, yeah, March Madness starting next week, guys. It's going to be awesome. Fill out your brackets. It's going to be a great tournament, because I think it's anyone's ball game. You know, you got Duke up there. You got Alabama. You got, you know, Auburn, obviously. Michigan State. I do believe they're ranked number 8 right now. We'll go through these rankings real quick. But, yeah, they're up there. They're having a great season. Tom Izzo. You know, he's on a path of destruction. He wants to win a national championship. You know, he's 70 years old now. He's been at Michigan State for over 30 years. So great for him. You know, he's got a great team this year. They've been playing some really good basketball. Hopefully they can make a long stretch in March Madness. And then Michigan too. You know, Michigan, you know, how they ended their regular season, they lost 3 in a row. You know, you lose to MSU twice. So, you know, that's not good for Michigan, because that's our rival, man. I mean, yeah, we get it. We have them in football. You know, we'll always take care of them in football. But basketball, too, we have to beat them. No, we lost to them twice. That's not good for the Michigan Wolverines. And then you lose to Maryland, 71-65, and then Illinois, 93-73. I mean, these are Big Ten teams who are good, especially Maryland. They're a great team, too. But then you lose to Michigan State last Sunday, 79-62, and then there was a controversy with the Michigan players standing on the Spartan logo, center court, and then, you know, all hell broke loose, right? But, you know, that's just a rivalry. I don't see what the big deal is with that. You know, it's Michigan State. You know, just because you think this just happens in football, no, it happens in basketball too. So just get over it. Just enjoy it. I mean, these people are making a big deal about that. I don't get it at all. But you have that going on. But then, yeah, you got the finals for these tournaments. You know, SEC final on Sunday, the Big Ten final. So we'll see what happens with those tournaments. But, yeah, college basketball. So, yeah, these rankings, AP Top 25 for college men's basketball. Duke number 1, Houston 2, Auburn number 3, Florida's number 4, and 5 is Alabama. So that's your top 5 there. St. John's under Rick Pitino. Long-time head coach for Louisville Cardinals ever since I was a kid and teenager. He's back. He's coaching St. John's. They're doing absolutely phenomenal this year. 27-4 record, 18-0, undefeated at home for St. John's. And then Michigan State, number 7, they're 15-1 at home, 26-5 record. Tennessee, Texas Tech, Clemson, that's your top 10 there. Maryland's up there with 11. Michigan's still up there with 22. But, you know, this tournament, man, they got to show. They got to show up in the Big Ten tournament this week. So we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, college basketball, best time of the year. I can't wait. March Madness starts next week. So fill out your brackets. It's going to be awesome. anyone's ball game. Like I said, it can be anyone. It can be Duke. It can be Auburn, Michigan State, St. John's, Florida, whoever decides to show up and play ball for a couple weeks. And then obviously the championship game is in April. As I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. The championship game is going to be on April 7th this year in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. But yeah, March Madness, all you college basketball fans out there, enjoy this one. Fill out a bracket. Have fun with it. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So you have college basketball. You got March Madness going on right now. And then now we got to hop over to the Red Wings. So, of course, the Red Wings, they're awful right now. They absolutely suck. I'll say it. I don't even care. You can criticize me all you want. They are horrible. They have lost 6 in a row. And they're out of the wild card spot. They got 18 more games to go. They got Buffalo tonight. And dude, what happened? What happened with this team? Todd McClellan comes in the day after Christmas. We get rid of Derek Lalonde because he wasn't doing anything, right? So you got Todd McClellan, a veteran coach, a hard-nosed coach, an old-school coach, a guy we desperately needed to guide this team to success. And how do you go from 2 7-game winning streaks to now losing 6 in a row, this close to the playoffs? We're in March. We're in the middle of March right now. We got 18 more games to go, and you've lost 6 in a row? What the hell is going on, Detroit? These guys, you're out of the wild card spot. You got Iowa in the top wild card spot, and then the number 2 wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. You got Columbus. And then you got New York Rangers there. You got Montreal Canadiens, and then us. So there's 4 teams ahead of us. Like, when are we going to start picking it up? When are we going to start playing some hockey? We have to play hockey right now. We have to win tonight against Buffalo. I think we're already screwed. But we have to win because look at this schedule. The Red Wings schedule, it's probably the toughest of all the 32 teams in the NHL. But this schedule is brutal for the Red Wings, the remaining schedule. We got to play the Carolina Hurricanes twice. And they're second in the Metropolitan Division behind the Washington Capitals in the Eastern Conference. We have to play them twice. We have to play the Vegas Golden Knights, one of the top teams in the NHL, twice. You got Colorado, who's fantastic this year. We got the Capitals, number 1, first place in the Metropolitan Division from the Eastern Conference. Then we played the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, twice, who just got Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins, which that was insane. I heard about that, and I thought it was a joke. I thought it was BS. But then I read it, and it's like, nope, he got traded to the Panthers. Longtime Boston Bruin. He's been there his entire career. Now he's playing for the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. It was absolutely crazy to hear about that this past weekend. But that schedule for the Detroit Red Wings is brutal. And you lost 6 in a row? Like, what the hell is this team doing? Well, the games I have watched, it's lack of defense. And this is a problem for years that the Detroit Red Wings has dealt with. We can't play defense. And it's just like, someone's got to step up. We got to get aggressive out there. We're not even getting aggressive. We're allowing these guys to just skate right by us, shoot the puck, and it goes in the back of the net. So our defense is awful. And then another thing is our goaltending. Like, we allowed so many goals that are, not the greatest. Like, okay, you should have made that save. Why are you allowing pucks going through the 5-hole or the glove side or your stick side? Why is this happening? I just don't understand. We were doing such a great job. 2 7-game winning streaks, and now we've lost the last 6. I don't get it. So yeah, Colorado, 3rd place in the Central Division in the Western Conference. Vegas Golden Knights, we played them twice, as I mentioned. They're in 1st place in the Pacific Division of the Western Conference. Who else we got here? The Capitals, as I mentioned, they're 1st place in the Metropolitan Division in the Eastern Conference. The Carolina Hurricanes, 2nd place in the Metropolitan Division. We played them twice. The Florida Panthers, 1st place in the Atlantic Division for the Eastern Conference. So these next games, outside of Buffalo tonight, we got Buffalo playing tonight. But outside of Buffalo, dude, this schedule is brutal. And I think we played the Dallas Stars too. And that's another great team. They're second in the Central Division, right behind the Winnipeg Jets for the Western Conference. So they got to win games. And to be honest, they're gonna have a tough time. I mean, on this 6-game losing streak, let's see. So this 6-game losing streak for the Detroit Red Wings, goals for. So the goals that they get, they're outside the top 20. Out of 32 teams in the NHL, they're outside the top 20. That's pathetic. And that's the thing. We outshot a lot of these teams. So our power play, despite the 6-game losing streak, despite all this craziness and this horrible hockey that the Red Wings have played, we have a 20.2% power play on the power play, which is still third best in the NHL, which is insane. Because this 6-game losing streak, we look god-awful. And I'm telling you, the shots in some of these losses, so here are the shots that we have against other teams and losses, right? So we lost to Ottawa 2-1 a couple Monday night, and we outshot them 49-23, and we still lost by 1 goal because we can't find the back in the net. So 49-23, we outshoot the Ottawa Senators, who has a top wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and we lose to them 2-1. So you have that going on. And then last Thursday night, you had against the Utah Hockey Club. We lose to them 4-2. We outshot them 40-19. 40-19, you lose by 2 goals against a team that doesn't even have a damn logo. The Utah Hockey Club. Yeah, that's a great name for a professional hockey team. They only have a damn logo, and we lost to them at home by two goals when we outshot them 40-19. Pathetic. And then the Columbus Blue Jackets a couple weeks ago, we lost to them 5-3 in the Stadium Series, right? In Columbus, Ohio. We outshot them 46-21, and we lost by 2 goals. How is that even possible? So I'm looking at this schedule, right? So we lose to Columbus twice, so that's 4 points out the window. We lose to Carolina 2-1. We lose to the Utah Hockey Club 4-2 at home. And then on the road, we lose to the Washington Capitals 5-2. And then we lose to the Ottawa Senators Monday night 2-1 when we outshot them 49-23. So I don't know what's going on with the Detroit Red Wings, but they got to figure something out because this is pathetic. I mean, just shades of last year, when we had a chance to make it to the playoffs. All we had to do was win 1 more game. We couldn't do it. The Washington Capitals got in. And look what happened. They made all these offseason moves. They got some guys. They got rid of some guys. And look, now they're one of the top teams in the NHL. Crazy what you can do during the offseason and at the NHL trade deadline. Maybe someone should tell Steve Yzerman that. Because now, I've said on this podcast, I trust Yzer plan. I don't know. That belief is slowly shifting away. Because 6 years in, no playoff appearance, and now we're in a position like last year. A late season collapse and possibly not making it to the playoffs. I don't know. It's pathetic. These guys, the Red Wings like a month ago looked absolutely fantastic. They looked great. But now they look like the Red Wings from last year. Late February, all March, going into April, just collapse, just completely tuned out. Don't care, giving up. We're going to tank the rest of the season. Who cares, right? No. Play some damn hockey. Win some damn games. Because you got Buffalo tonight at home, 7:30 on TNT, True TV, Max, wherever you watch your Red Wings game. But they play at home tonight against Buffalo. You have to beat Buffalo. You have to beat Buffalo. Without question, you have to beat this team. Because then Friday night, you got to go to Carolina. That's not going to be easy. And then Sunday playing at home against the Vegas Golden Knights, that's not going to be easy either. And then you're at Washington again next Tuesday. That's not going to be easy. You're at Vegas next Saturday. That's not going to be easy. You got Utah Hockey Club. You got at Colorado. So 4 straight road games. 3 out of those four teams are tough. Teams that are definitely making it to the playoffs this year. Washington, Vegas, and Colorado. You have to win those games. And then you got Ottawa towards the end of the month at home. You got Boston towards the end of the month. You know, you got Carolina again, Florida twice, the defending Stanley Cup champions. You got Tampa Bay in there, Dallas. You know, this schedule, as I mentioned, the rest of the schedule for the Detroit Red Wings is absolutely brutal. So they have to win tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, there's no debate. You have to win. So Red Wings, wake up, get your crap together, and start winning some games because this is pathetic. 6 straight. You got to be kidding me. You know, this close to the playoffs, too. We're this close to the damn playoffs, and you guys are going to play like this. It's pathetic. So that's Red Wings news. That's NHL news. So Red Wings, get that win tonight against Buffalo. That's it, man. And now we're going to end today's episode with NFL free agency. Always around this time. It's crazy. It's insane. I mean, some of these moves that teams are making are crazy. I mean, it kind of all started a couple weeks or last week, or almost 2 weeks ago, when Deebo Samuel went to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round draft pick. So he's with Jaden Daniels. He's with Terry McLaurin. That offense is going to be scary going into next season. But yeah, Deebo Samuel, former San Francisco 49er, now a Washington Commander. That was insane. And that's what started this whole craziness, right? And then now we got, you know, yesterday, late last night, I saw on my phone from Adam Schefter, of course, because, you know, he's great at what he does. You got Joey Bosa signing a 1-year deal with the Buffalo Bills. His former Los Angeles Charger defensive end signed with Joey Bosa to a 1-year, $12.6 million deal. And that's according to NFL.com, NFL's Instagram page. I mean, I saved a lot of these. I liked a lot of these because I wanted to talk a little bit about. I'm not going to go through every single one because that'll take forever. But we'll talk about a little bit of those. So, yeah, that was the late one that came in last night. Joey Bosa signed with the Buffalo Bills. And then you had DeAndre Hopkins, former Texans wide receiver for many years. He played with the Chiefs last year. Now he's signed with the Baltimore Ravens. 1-year deal, $6 million. So he joins Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, you know, all those guys with that offense. So you have that going on as well. You know, who else we got here? I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, my phone has been blew up like every 2 minutes. Oh, this team got, you know, this team signed with this team, or this player signed with this team, or, you know, Trey Hendrickson. The Cincinnati Bengals gave him permission to talk to other teams, to request a trade. So the Detroit Lions, where you at, guys? Where you at? Sign this guy now. I don't care. We need an edge rusher. Please sign Trey Hendrickson now. The reason why we haven't signed him just yet is because he's probably asking for a lot of money, and Brad Holmes doesn't want to dish it out. I can respect that. But, dude, we need an edge rusher. Because, obviously, when Aiden Hutchinson went down against the Dallas Cowboys, week 6, broke his leg, our defense was god-awful after that. And then you had, you know, at one point, you had 16 players on IR. 21 at one point. All of them. A good majority. Like 95% of them were on the defense. Our defense was decimated last season. I mean, you had our second and third stringers getting hurt. Right? So Trey Hendrickson, he's still available. You're not going to get Myles Garrett because he signed a long-term extension with the Browns. You're not going to get Max Crosby because he signed a long-term extension with the Raiders. So this is your best option. Get Trey Hendrickson now. If you're the Detroit Lions, get him now. Sign him here. Get his ass to Detroit. Get him here. But in other Detroit Lions news, yeah, that's my rant for today. They signed defensive back DJ Reed from the Jets. 3-year, $48 million contract, $32 million guaranteed. And this is all from the Detroit Free Press. DJ Reed, 28 years old, so he's my age. 64 tackles, 6 interceptions in 7 seasons in the NFL. He was started in San Francisco. He got drafted in 2018, 5th-round draft pick out of Kansas State. Then he went to Seattle for a couple years, and then he came to the Jets in 2022. Now he's with the Detroit Lions. So how do I feel about this pick? I like it because now you got Carlton Davis III. He's gone. He's with the Patriots. He signed a 3-year, $60 million deal, $20 million each year, Mike Vrabel making some moves, new head coach for the New England Patriots, obviously former player. He played for the Patriots for many years, so making that move was crazy. But, I think it's a good compliment with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. That secondary needs some beefing up. So DJ Reed, I like it. I like the pick. I know there's people who are kind of skeptical about it, but him and Sauce Gardner, Jets defense, one of the best defenses in the league for a couple years. So hopefully he brings that intensity to Detroit, because you know how Detroit is. Our defense, when healthy, key words, right? When healthy, we are a top 10 defense, but the key for that is that everyone's got to stay healthy. Defensive ends, linebackers, our secondary. So DJ Reed, that signing from a couple days ago, I like that. So you had that going on. And then other Lions news, we resigned Marcus Davenport 1 year, $4.75 million contract. I didn't like this because he has an injury history. He's injury prone. How productive is he going to be? He was on IR last year, obviously, triceps injury, week 3 against the Cardinals. He had 63 appearances with the Saints. He got drafted by them in 2018. He was there for a few years, all the way to 2022, and then only appeared in 4 games with the Vikings 2023, and then obviously he missed the rest of the year with a right ankle injury. So triceps injuries, right ankle injuries, concussions. He's had a history of injuries, and I don't like that, because now the production is going down. And like I said, last year he was on IR most of the season. So in 69 career games, 36 starts. This is all from Detroit Free Press. He's had 151 tackles, 82 solo, 68 quarterback hits, 27 tackles for loss, 24 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, 4 passes defended, and 1 fumble recovery. So yeah, this is all according to Detroit Free Press and ESPN.com. So when he's on the field, he's productive. But that's the thing. He has to stay on the field. When he's hurt, he's no good. He's no good for us. So the 1 year deal, okay, that's good. You only sign for a deal or 1 year, and if he doesn't perform, okay, we can get rid of him. But, he's a defensive end. Like I said, we need to get an elite pass rusher. You have to get Trey Hendrickson. The guy is, the past 2 years, has had 35 sacks. He leads the NFL. He's one of the best defensive ends in the NFL right now. You got to get him. But I know he's asking for a lot of money. We'll see what happens in the next couple days, because, NFL free agency, NFL offseason's been insane so far. And then on other news, we re-signed Derek Barnes, linebacker Derek Barnes, to a 3-year, $25.5 million extension. Okay, he was another guy who was on IR for most of the year. Very unfortunate. But he's a good player. I like Derek Barnes. You remember when he got that interception in the wild card round a couple years ago in the playoffs at home against Tampa Bay? Yeah, that was awesome. So you had that going on. 4 seasons with the Lions. He started 26 out of the 51 games. He has 194 tackles, 114 solos, so he's really productive when he's on the field. 12 tackles for loss, 8 QB hits, 4 sacks, 4 pass defenses, and a forced fumble. And he's a 4th rounder, the 113th pick overall from Purdue, in the 2021 draft. So when he's healthy, he's an asset, right? So DJ Reed, I like. Just talking about the Lions free agency, what they've been doing. The DJ Reed, okay, that's a good sign. I like that. Marcus Davenport, I don't really like it. Don't really care for it. Derek Barnes, not a bad signing. So, Brad Holmes, I still trust him. I really do. Obviously people are already kind of, oh man, how come we're not getting all these other great players? Just let him do his thing, man. Believe in Brad Holmes. I'm telling you. But as I mentioned before, our Super Bowl window slowly shrinking. You had the greatest opportunity a couple seasons ago in the NFC Championship game on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. You were up 24-7 at halftime, and you blew it. You lost 34-31. So, and then obviously this past season, in the divisional round of the playoffs at home, you got absolutely embarrassed by a rookie quarterback in Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. So, yeah, Lions, you got to get going, man. So you have that. Those were some of the signings. The Lions also signed another gentleman, Let me. So some guy from the San Francisco 49ers. I can't think of his name right now, but they signed him, and it was just like, huh? Who's this guy? I don't know. Brad Holmes, he knows his talent, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let me just look up here real quick. Yeah, my computer is very slow. We'll get back to that. Oh, it came up. Sorry. So yeah, Lions free agency. Let's see who they got, because I this was late last night too. Lions picking up guys. Roy Lopez. So Roy Lopez got him from the Cardinals. Did I say San Francisco 49ers? I apologize about that. It was from the Arizona Cardinals, signing him to a one-year deal, $4.65 million contract. That's from the Detroit Free Press. Nose tackle, so big dude. He can play defensive end, it seems like, from his body type. But yeah, Roy Lopez, who is that guy, right? But maybe he can be an asset. Like I said, Brad Holmes knows about talent more than I do. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the Lions, not bad. Like I said, Trey Hendrickson, I really want him here. But I know he's going to be asking for a lot of money. But him and Aiden Hutchinson together, oof, that would be dangerous. Like I said, Trey Hendrickson leads the league in sacks the past 2 seasons. The guy has had 35 sacks in the NFL the past 2 seasons. You got to get that guy here. So we'll see what happens with that. But then in other news, I'm telling you, March is a crazy time for NFL, the offseason, free agency. Broncos signed Dre Greenlaw, former San Francisco 49er, to a 3-year, $35 million deal. So it seems like a lot of the San Francisco 49ers players are leaving. Same with the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, who absolutely dominated the Chiefs. They're losing a lot of their players. Khalil Mack staying with the Chargers. 1 year, $18 million, fully guaranteed. So he's staying with the Chargers as well. Obviously Joey Bosa going to the Bills. Hassan Reddick, former Jets defensive end, he's signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a 1 year, $14 million deal. So you have that going on as well. There were some talks, last year, a couple years ago, about getting him in off season. We didn't pull the trigger on that one. So he's got a new home with the Buccaneers. And then Chris Godwin re-signed with the Buccaneers, 3-year, $66 million deal, $44 million guaranteed. That's a lot for a wide receiver. Him and Mike Evans, perfect compliments to each other. Baker Mayfield has been absolutely fantastic ever since becoming the Tampa Bay quarterback. But yeah, Chris Godwin, Mike Valenti said yesterday or a couple of days ago, he's got to stay healthy because, he broke his ankle and he was done for the year last season. And he's had some concussion issues and stuff like that. He's a small guy, so hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully that's a great investment by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So you had that. And then Braxton Berrios, signed with the Texans, 1 year, $2 million contract, former Dolphins wide receiver there. So yeah, a lot of these, Jimmy Garoppolo staying with the Los Angeles Rams. Carlton Davis, as I mentioned, signed with the New England Patriots. New head coach Mike Vrabel was a player for the Patriots for many years. He's at the helm right now. He's running that team. He signed Carlton Davis to a 3-year, $60 million deal. $20 million a year. I don't know, man. He was hurt last year as well. So I don't know. Great player, but can he stay healthy for that Patriots team? And then Patriots, they've been very busy as well. They signed Milton Williams, former defensive tackle for the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, signed him to a $26 million deal. So, yeah, like I said, the San Francisco 49ers losing a lot of talent, and the defending Super Bowl champions, the Eagles, are losing a lot of talent. This is what happens. NFL, at the end of the day, we love our football, but it is a business. And then this one was really crazy. Sam Darnold, decent year with the Vikings last year, signed with the Seahawks, 3-year deal worth $100 million. So he's the new quarterback, it seems like, for Seattle Seahawks. So that was crazy, hearing about that, because obviously Geno Smith is with the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll get to him in a little bit. But yeah, I heard that and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So who's going to be the quarterback for the Vikings? Because Daniel Jones is with the Colts now. He signed a 1-year deal. So what? You got J.J. McCarthy, who was injured last year. He didn't play at all, and he tore his meniscus. So he's out, or hopefully he'll be, or he was out last year. Hopefully he'll come back and be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. But yeah, Sam Darnold to the Seahawks, crazy. I mean, yeah, when you get rid of one quarterback, you gotta sign another quarterback, right? And that's exactly what the Seahawks did. But yeah, just a lot of lots of NFL free agency stuff going on. Obviously, Josh Allen signed a big extension, 6-year, what was it, $320 million deal, $330 million deal. So yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, my computer is acting up. I apologize about that. But yeah, Lions, like I said, you gotta get Trey Hendrickson, permission to seek trade from the Cincinnati Bengals. As I mentioned, 35 sacks in the past 2 years. He leads the NFL. He's played in 34 games the past 2 seasons, so he is productive, and he is one of the best defensive ends when he's on the field. 30 years old, out of Florida Atlantic University, 6'4", 270 pounds. Just imagine that type of, that type of player complimenting Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive line. So yeah, crazy stuff there. Yeah, I mean, all this NFL stuff is insane. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's a lot. I just wanted to go through the main signings. Obviously, Myles Garrett, as I mentioned, $40 million deal with him, staying with the Browns. So I guess he doesn't want to win the Super Bowl, right? So let's see. Oh yeah, Justin Fields going to the Jets, former Steelers quarterback, and then obviously he got drafted by the Bears a couple years ago. Now he's with his third team. He signed with the Jets. Quarterback, 2-year, $40 million deal, $30 million guaranteed for Justin Fields. So yeah, good for the Jets. Hopefully they can help him out. You got Garrett Wilson there, Breece Hall, all those guys. That offensive line. You got to invest in the offensive line if you're the Jets. And then Josh Sweat, another former Eagles player, pass rusher, defensive end. Josh Sweat, 4-year deal, $76.4 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals. So he's gone from the Philadelphia Eagles. They just got done winning the Super Bowl. You're picking this team apart, but that's what happens. It's a business. It happens, unfortunately. J.C. Palmer, a wide receiver, a former wide receiver for the Chargers. He signed with the Bills, 3-year, $36 million deal. So you have that going on as well. Yeah, it's been crazy. Kenny Pickett leaving the Eagles, the trade with the Browns. So the Eagles are trading Kenny Pickett to the Browns for Dorian Thompson-Robinson, or known as DTR, for a 5th round and a 5th round draft pick. So he's going. Kenny Pickett leaving the Eagles, going to the Browns. So yeah, lots of activity this offseason. Let's see. Yeah, DJ Reed, obviously, with the Lions. Najee Harris leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers. He signed with the Chargers. 1-year deal, $9.25 million contract for Najee Harris. So him and Harbaugh, that's going to be a really interesting situation there. An interesting pairing there. Yeah, obviously, Zach Wilson going to the Dolphins. As I mentioned, Daniel Jones signed a 1-year deal with the Colts. Former Vikings quarterback, obviously former Giants quarterback as well. But yeah, lots of these. Zach Ertz, re-signed with the Washington Commanders. He's staying in Washington. 1-year, $6.25 million deal, up to $9 million in incentives. So sounds like he has to stay healthy and hit some stats if he wants to make bank. And then yeah, Devontae Adams, he got released by the Jets about a month ago. He's signed with the LA Rams. 2-year, $46 million deal, $26 million guaranteed. So he's joining Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua because the Rams are getting rid of Cooper Kupp. Which that's insane because he's a great wide receiver. But yeah, Devontae Adams joining the Rams. Aaron Jones re-signing with the Minnesota Vikings. 2-year, $20 million deal, $13 million guaranteed for Aaron Jones. Obviously, he spent many years with the Green Bay Packers, and then he stayed in the division, stayed with the Minnesota Vikings, re-signed with them. So you have that. And then DK Metcalf leaving the Seattle Seahawks, signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 2025 second-round pick. And then the deal is a 5-year, $150 million contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now the question is, who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to be throwing him the ball before he throws a temper tantrum, right? You got him and George Pickens. These guys are not the most disciplined wide receivers or players in the game. But then you got a quarterback. Who's going to be the quarterback? Is it going to be Russell Wilson? I don't think it will be. But this guy, if you're paying him that much, he better be catching some footballs. $30 million a year, 5 years, $150 million, $30 million each year. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, Seattle getting rid of their top target. But now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who really, they don't have a quarterback. So, because Russell Wilson's getting old and he's not great anymore. So yeah, that. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, the San Francisco 49ers getting rid of fullback Kyle Juszczyk. Spent many years with the San Francisco 49ers. A fan favorite. They like him there, but 49ers, got to get rid of you, man. So, yeah, business at the end of the day. So, that I'm sure a lot of 49ers fans did not appreciate that. Tyler Gesicki is re-signed with the Bengals. Not Kyle Gesicki, Mike Gesicki. 3-year, $25.5 million deal. Former Penn State tight end. Staying with the Cincinnati Bengals. He was with the Miami Dolphins for many years. And then, yeah, obviously these are the big ones I wanted to discuss a little bit. So the Browns agreed to terms with Myles Garrett on a 4-year extension worth $40 million a year, including $123 million guaranteed. So obviously he doesn't want to stay. He doesn't want to win a championship because, let's be honest, you think the Cleveland Browns are going to win the Super Bowl in the next 4 years that he's there? No. So that was crazy. He said he wanted to leave, but then, money talks. Hey, we'll pay you this money. Okay, I'll stay. That's exactly how that went. So yeah, that, and then the Lions getting rid of Zadarius Smith. He's an older guy. He did what he had to do. He did his job, but long term, I don't think he was gonna stay. So yeah, that Geno Smith, as I mentioned earlier, he's with the Las Vegas Raiders. They're trading. Seahawks traded Geno Smith to the Raiders for a 2025 third-round pick. So, yeah, that's crazy, man. But, yeah, Seattle getting rid of their guys. San Francisco looks like they're getting rid of a lot of their guys. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champs, getting rid of their guys. And then at least the Eagles did the right thing by re-signing Saquon Barkley, who led the league in rushing last year. They signed Saquon Barkley to a 2-year extension worth $41.2 million, $36 million guaranteed. That is the highest for running back in NFL history. So good for him. He deserves it. He was absolutely phenomenal last year. And then obviously Myles Garrett's deal, the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL history. So good for him. But like I said, at the same time, he's not going to win the Super Bowl if he's staying with the Browns. So yeah, that Darius Slay's getting released, and like I said, Deebo Samuel getting released they traded him from the 49ers to the Commanders for a 5th-round draft pick. That was a steal, man. And he's dealt with injuries too, so he's battled the injury bug as well. I want to see, where's that Max Crosby signing. I know I saved it because they're always around this time. I save these. Yeah, Gardner Minshew got released by the Vegas Raiders. They're done with him. The Seattle Seahawks releasing Tyler Lockett, longtime wide receiver there. I know I have it somewhere. But yeah, lots of moves going on. Sam Hubbard announcing his retirement, former defensive end for the Bengals. Bengals are franchising, put the franchise tag on T. Higgins. They're going to offer him a deal to stay with Cincinnati. There's Max Crosby right there. Max Crosby, he's staying with the Las Vegas Raiders. He signed a 3-year, $106.5 million extension, $91.5 million guaranteed, making him one of the highest paid defenders in the NFL. So, man, that would have been awesome to have him here with Aiden Hutchinson. It's not meant to be. So you have that. But yeah, lots of news going on. Man, I mean, I'm pretty sure I missed one. Okay, Chase Young, Ohio State standout, former Washington Commander, defensive end. He's staying with the Saints. 3-year, $51 million contract for Chase Young. So all best to him. But yeah, money talks, man. It's crazy. Levante David staying with the Buccaneers. Signed a 1-year, $10 million deal. Returning for his 14th season. So yeah, he's been in the league for a minute. But yeah, he's staying with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Von Miller got released by the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, here's that extension we were talking about. So Josh Allen reached an agreement on a 6-year, $330 million deal, $250 million guaranteed. That's insane. Making him one of the highest paid. I think with that deal, it made him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Well, you got to win a damn Super Bowl, Josh Allen. You got to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. If you're getting paid that much, if you're getting paid that much, you got to beat Patrick Mahomes, your arch nemesis, your kryptonite when it comes to postseason football. So, big deal there for Josh Allen. He's got to win a Super Bowl, maybe even 2. And he's got to get past Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. So, yeah, lots of NFL news. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more. I just wanted to highlight some of the signings, obviously from Detroit. The Detroit Lions doing their thing, and obviously some of the bigger signings and, obviously the bigger free agency and stuff going on in the NFL offseason. But, yeah, it's been crazy so far. It's only going to get crazier from this point forward. So, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We're done today. I know, long episode today. We had a lot to talk about. UFC 313. That main event was god-awful. Hopefully we'll have a better event. And going forward, we'll have numerous fight nights after that are bangers. You have that. You have March Madness starting next week. You got the tournaments for the conferences this week as well. So that's going to be a fun time. You got Red Wings tonight. Buffalo, 7:30. That's a must-win for Detroit. I mean, they're on a 6-game losing streak, and they look like absolute garbage. So they need to win tonight. And then the NFL free agency has been absolutely crazy. It's been out of control. But it's always like this around this time. But Trey Hendrickson, Lions, get on the phone with that guy and bring him to Detroit. I'm telling you, he will be an asset to that defense. So that's it. So yeah, we got that going on. So this, as always, this episode's going to be available on my YouTube channel, Guys Time with the Prize. Subscribe right now, and then the audio version of this episode is going to be available wherever you listen to your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to it, it's going to be available. Check it out, and you guys are amazing. So thank you for joining me again. Guys Time with the Prize, Zach Rice here. The Prize is out. You have a great rest of your day, and check this episode out. All right, take care, guys. Have a good one.